And the magic that that band gave you is what? You came to learn what about music and life and spirituality because of that band?
I think because of that band, I come to learn possibility. Um, with Earth, Wind, and Fire, it was just embryo of a dream to be the best that we could be. And out of that has spawned a life, career, with all the accolades that have come, a great lifestyle, and hope for a continued future, really, musically. Uh, so, for me, it's been something it's been a light. It really has. And that's been something that has been able to shine in me, and hopefully it does through all the projects that I am a part of. And hopefully, at the end of it all, my contribution musically can be significant in the same way that Earth, Wind, and Fire has.
I want to stay with that thought. Let's talk about your entire experience, Earth, Wind, and Fire, all the solo projects, be it soul, R&B, gospel, the new CD, Soul on Jazz. Bring all of that experience together, that thread from Earth, Wind, and Fire straight through the Philip Bailey solo career. What has it taught you about how to be a better vocalist?
Well, there's an old phrase that says one must deserve the right to be heard. These are meaning that by what you do, you develop the kind of respect that people actually will listen. And I think that over the body of time of my life, and I'm still learning, still growing. I'm still very much excited about that bar, lifting it and trying to, attain that level. But for me, I think that in my pursuit of that, it's garnered a lot of respect from my peers and other people. They recognize that my intent musically or as an artist is sincere, and that one of being very true to the art form, and not so much about all the accolades and stuff that come with it, the flame, the fame, the glitter and the glamour or whatever.
Right.
But for the sake of the purity of the art, I'm a true lover of that.
Yeah, but that said, then what are the things in life that taught you how to persevere, how to go into the deepest, darkest parts of yourself, Philip, but also to take your artistic ability and bring them together in concert? So what taught you to persevere?
I think that my faith in knowing that how no matter how big the obstacles, that it creates an opportunity. My family, my friends, and I think that rejection has played a great part, and people don't realize that in our industry there's far more no's than there are yeses. Everyone just nods to the yeses because they know about them. They don't know about all the records that didn't make it, all the plans that didn't come through.
Yeah, but how so for you? I mean, when you stop and think about it, I mean, you've got a 30-plus year career, extraordinarily great success.
Yeah, but at the same time, there's been a lot of disappointing moments. There's been many disappointing moments, many disappointing years, months, of, trying to have to get back up and do that record over again, only to see, it not see the light of day or not get support or whatever. There's been a lot of things that, you just have to just keep, coming back, to the table with the same enthusiasm, the same fire to do the very best you can, even though there's a possibility that this too may not get a chance to get to an audience.
Well, I want to stay there then for a moment. When you think about all the things that you set out to do in your chosen craft, in this art form, I want you to give me a mental checklist of the things that you set out to accomplish that you did, and on the other side of the list, the things that you set out to do that you haven't as of yet.
Well, that's kind of hard for me because my personal focus is always in the future. And I can't really answer that question without getting somewhat spiritual for the mere sake of answering the question.
Well, that's fine.
There's a verse in the Bible that says God is able to do exceedingly and abundantly above that we're able to ask or think. And for me, that really means that for me, I can't put a ceiling on what my expectations are, where I'm going, or
Your
what I
limitations are
will
limitless.
accomplish. Right.
Limitations are limitless.
Exactly. So for me, my vision is always out there. Just it's always in the forward go motion. So as far as what I will accomplish, I know that it's exceeded my imagination. I wouldn't have seen in my past, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or the legendary awards that we've gotten just in the past few years, nor having a 30-year plus career and doing 10 solo albums. All those 10 solo albums have not been great records. Nonetheless, I think the testament to who I am is the fact that I continue to persevere
keep raising the bar.
and go on, to make this kind of record, even though you have maybe 8 records that people may not know.
But in terms of your creativity then, you know no limitations on your ability as a vocalist.
I use everything, all my experience as flame for my creativity. I use everything. I sing with the kind of passion that, and do everything, play with the kind of passion that actually propels or gives me strength past all my obstacles and disappointments or accomplishments. My whole philosophy is you can't get too high and you can't get too low. You can't believe everything you hear, and you can't get too down about everything you don't hear.
You need to stay grounded.
You need to stay grounded. And for me, that's just being a ticket.
Any of the Earth, Wind, and Fire songs closest to who you are as a person, closer to what you believe about life and how you see the world?
No one particular song. I think that our whole musical, lyrical philosophy has always been what we've sung about, what we've preached about, and what we've tried to live. And we've always run the risk of being, being perceived as being, too spiritual in certain respects. But it hasn't really been about that. It's really been about us just being true to who we are as people. You sing and write about who you are, what you see, and what you feel, and that's what we've always done. And I didn't want to do anything. I've never wanted to do anything that I have to look back on and be embarrassed or ashamed of. So for me, in answer to your question, the whole philosophy that we sing about is who I am.
How do you get the best out of who you are?
I get the best of who I am by humbling myself, really, and allowing a greater force to flow through me.
And how do you explore, even though you want to color outside the lines of Earth, Wind, and Fire, how do you explore yourself to come to something like Soul on Jazz?
I've been very fortunate to be able to have a very good team of people to work around me, with my management, Bennett Freed, and Dave Love at Heads Up, and Myron McKinley, Scott Kinsey, Bob Belden. They were all just in their own right very, very talented people, and we were able to, put, as they say, egos or whatever on the side and just really work for one common project. Do it in a short length of time, and do it in a way that I'm getting some wonderful comments on the record. I'm hoping that we're able to get a lot more visibility for the project, but I'm feeling a lot of very positive response to it. That makes us all happy.
I want to go back to Soul on Jazz. When I put on Freddie Hubbard's Red Clay, or I listened to, we had Chick Corea on this program a few weeks ago, and I've emailed him to tell him about your version of Some Time Ago, and it barks, let me tell you. Or Les McCann and Eddie Harris is compared to what? What drew you to select these particular songs on this disc?
Well, when we were looking at the musician that we had on the record, on the session, I was thinking of a song that would be an appropriate jam band kind of song, and there was none hotter than Compared to What. That song, just Eddie Harrison and Les McCann, they just was rocking.
Benny Bailey,
They were
Donald
just,
Dean,
oh my
Leroy
goodness,
Vinegar.
They were rocking.
Montrose
And,
'69.
so we
That
said,
thing, you
yeah.
can't even pick that CD
Right.
up.
So we decided to take a stab at that one.
And Red Clay.
Red Clay is one of those songs that I actually have to have the lyrics there sometime, because there are so many lyrics to that song that if you mess up, you can't find wait a minute, I sing the first verse, I sing the second one. But I always loved that version with Freddie Hubbard, and we had a good time doing that song.
What did you come away with after you finished recording this disc and you went home and listened to it by yourself alone? You came away with what?
I'm a big fan of all the greats before me. Sarah Vaughan, Miles, Diz, and Train. And I just think about the fact that, man, many of the things that we listen to today were moments that these guys went in the studio and they did right then. You know, maybe 1 or 2 takes at most, at best. There wasn't any, technology wasn't of such where, you did a lot of overdubbing, a lot of retakes or this or that. And the art form was at a level so high that everyone involved, their level was so high that they could do those things in that way that still are just unmatched by anything else. I think for me, that's something to look to, to be able to continue to develop as an artist, so that, each and every time you get on the stage or whatever you do, it's a magic moment. It's a magical moment.
From cut 1 right through to cut 11, final thoughts of what this disc means to you personally.
You have some interesting questions.
I thank you.
I just think it means for me musical life. I'm alive musically. We've been working on a record with Earth, Wind and Fire that's going to come out, and it's actually turned out to be a really good record. But in the process, it took so long, and we never knew where it was going to go and when it was going to be finished, or what was. And like I said, finally we're at a place where we're all very, very positive about the record. But in this project, it was a breath of fresh air because of all the energy, the cohesiveness, and the spirit in which everything went down. There was not a hitch. It was just like, just like that, yeah. And so that was a good experience. The whole Soul and Jazz project was a good experience for me.
And you want people to come away
feeling
with
good,
what?
Feeling good about it. Getting the chance to really feel it and appreciate it and personalize it.
The new CD, Soul on Jazz, from Philip Bailey. Heads Up International released it, and this will be one of the discs that you will not stop playing once you put this on. Philip, this has been a real pleasure. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you very
I greatly
much.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you.